Sometimes I have a hankering for specifically for like either like some like bad curry, like fucking Chinese food curry, you know, where it's just like the fucking highlighter sauce. They just put like they use a highlighter and they just squeeze it out all over onto just a bunch of fucking, you know, the frozen peas and carrots and shit and chicken, and they say, hey, it's chicken curry. It's not chicken curry. It's like nacho cheese. We said it's nacho cheese, melted crayons. Chinese chicken curry is just squeezed out fucking highlighter. Same thing with cup noodles. Okay, cup noodles, salt, dried out fucking. It's the same ingredients. The pea shits, the peas, the carrots, the corn, and then dried out noodles and just salt and fucking squeezed out highlighter. Okay, and then they're wondering where's all this cancer coming from? Oh, these cancer's right to noodles. Yeah, maybe it's because you're melting fucking drawing appliances, not appliances, but apparati. We're fucking using that shit. We're using writing utensils to make fucking food. Or rather, we're not differentiating. Is it good for food? Is it good for writing utensils? It could be both. Okay, it could be fucking both, and that's why you have shit growing in your fucking your thyroid. Okay, not to mention the salt shit. The salt shit is a big part. The salt causes cancer. I'm not a fucking scientist. I'm not getting into this. That's not the point of the episode for today. Okay, this today is it's a bit of a sneaky episode. But this is going to be the Desy Throws Hands exclusive, okay? This is going to be the first real Desy Throws Hands. Because I realized with the last one, I was watching it back, and it's good. And listen, if you enjoy my fucking, me rambling my fucking face off, and enjoy me for boxing, hey, you're good to go. But some people might be like, all right, well, I don't know what you're talking about with the boxing, because I don't do that, okay? So now I'm going to, in the next 5 minutes, and then it's like maybe we lose people permanent. And again, by people, I mean people who are going to eventually listen 4 or 5 years down the line, because we don't have anybody right now, okay? It's a barren fucking wasteland, and it's just like the occasional, especially if you have like comments and the viewers and stuff. It's the occasional dude. It's like the Toy Story. Remember in Toy Story when there's like the guy who tortured all the fucking toys? What was his name? Sid. Sid tortures all the fucking toys, and then it's like the Hills Have Eyes shit, the thing, like the crawling, the fucking thing with no legs, and then the other thing is like man, and it's just like this. It's just you're like, what is going on here, right? It's the equivalent of that online. Like I don't actually get any fucking people with money. God forbid you get anybody with more than like 10 cents in net worth in general. Okay. But it's like not even money or just a fucking brain, like nobody. I get fucking bots and people who are just severely fucking mentally ill. So maybe it's just a calling card. Maybe it's where you get what you put out. So I put out mental illness into the fucking ether. I'm going to get mental illness back. It's like, what else do you expect? Okay, so maybe it's that. But, I'm just saying, until we start getting actual real fucking people. So because we need to prep for that, okay? So the whole thing is I started going off on a boxing tangent. And it's like, you know what, maybe I'm going to say, I've always wanted to do Desy Throws Hands. Okay, I'm half watching the boxing now. I just kind of muted it there. I don't really give a fuck about this fight. We just watched a couple of things. I'm not gonna. Anyway, the point being, this is gonna be the boxing content, and it's not even really gonna be a boxing thing. I'm keeping this to as little as I can. I'm getting in, getting out, just like the sport of boxing, because I want to watch this fight. We got Lemieux and thing. We got Lemieux and Benavidez coming up. We just had that guy Janabek. We got to come up with a nickname for that guy too, because I feel like I'm a worldly fucking guy. Okay, I feel like I'm a worldly guy. I'm like, oh, guys from Kazakhstan. I'm not gonna be like, hey, what is it, Janabek? I can't, bro. But in all honesty, it's not because I can barely pronounce it to start out with it, and then they fucking pronounce it, and it's like different than it looks. But I digress with all this shit. Okay, the point is, if you're not into boxing now, I'm gonna say up front, hey, just skip to the next one. Okay, this is gonna be for boxing aficionados. Okay, and we're gonna maybe try to do it once a month, and I'm gonna try to get it in because the thing with the B-Vault thing is I call the B-Vault thing. I put it out there, but I need to make shit more public. Okay, I need to make shit on camera saying, hey, here's the fucking deal. Okay, so come see me if I'm right, which is gonna be a lot. I'll be wrong. I'm not ashamed to admit when I'm wrong. Okay, but I'm right, which will be a lot of the time. It's like, here's the fucking video proof, and here's my pound for pound shit, and then you're gonna bitch and moan, because that's the real motivation for this whole thing, okay? The big motivation for this week is, none of you fucking people know what the fuck pound for pound means. I gotta give you guys a fucking lesson. Nobody knows what pound for pound means. Does anybody have any, like, the way that, first of all, the lists that I'm seeing coming out, it's like, first, I commented on this yesterday. What was it, The Ring? The Ring dropped their top 10, and the Ring, all these things are questionable. Like the box strike is never, you don't ever go by box strike. Okay, because box it's like you get to like at the top. They had like AJ at like the top or two top, and no disrespect to AJ. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. We'll actually talk about this AJ in terms of pound for pound in a little bit because there's a valid fucking point to be made there. But by and large, the box just doesn't know what the fuck to do. And now they're asking me to log in for shit. Like, now they're just being in my way. It's like, I just want to see what this guy's record is. And like, please log in to prevent. It's like, motherfucker, just give me the fucking record. Give me the fucking record. I just stop it. Stop with this extra shit. But whatever. So, Box Strike is doing his whole thing. The Ring magazine. First of all, they had that guy, the Japanese guy, and maybe it's just because I haven't seen the guy's fights. I'm not talking about Noe. Noe is, top 10 pound for pound, right? But this other guy, Ioka, okay? And again, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but this is a heavy time. This is not like a time where there's a lull. It's like, oh, we need to have people to fill this fucking list. Who are we going to fucking put in there? You have a lot of people to choose from. Okay, there's people who should be pound for pound top 10 who are missing the list. Just a spoiler for my top 10 for pound for pound. The Gervonta Davis doesn't make it. Okay, and he's probably a top 10 for pound for pound fighter. There's a lot of talent going, and there's people who were in the top 10 pound for pound. The Teofimos and now Josh Taylor who fell out of top 10 pound for. Why can't I fucking talk it? Is it because it's getting hot and humid? I'm melting my fucking brain. It's the time of the season again, and in like that. Because yesterday was nice and cool, and I was walking outside and whatever, and just again, just realizing how much of a fucking agoraphobic I am. I'm just a fucking agoraphobic. I'm not gonna go, and the story's not gonna finish like this. But it's like that old guy from like Shawshank. Remember the old guy from Shawshank who gets out and he realizes like, oh, this outside the prison walls life is not for me. Okay, there's not much for me to do here. I can't really adapt. And then he obviously took matters into his own hands and dangled. I'm not gonna be doing that, but I am saying that like I am starting to walk down the streets and it's like, you know what? I just feel disconnected. In fair to my defense, I was in Manhattan. I don't feel that much out here. It's just kind of like, I got it. I kind of know what to expect. You get the occasional thing, but it's all like, it's tolerable. But I go to Manhattan, and yesterday was a Friday too, so it's like everybody's, is the liberal crowd is, not the liberal crowd, but you know what I mean? Like the young urban fucking youth who all of society is fucking built for. And there's, it's like people suffering to keep afloat this fucking lifestyle. I have the balls to turn around and say, hey, here's how I feel politically about it. If you do not incorporate the fact that this entire shit caters to you in your political opinion, keep your fucking mouth shut. But who am I to say? And then they see how you say this, and this is not a politics episode, okay? And it's not like I said, it's not even liberal thing. It's not about politics. It's just about lifestyle. It's a lifestyle thing. Okay, it's a lifestyle thing. I will go into this in at other times. However, this is a boxing related episode. We need to clear the air with some of the boxing things. And like I said, the number one thing is the pound for pound list. Okay, the Ring doesn't know what they're doing pound for pound. The Ring is putting Estrada. I got no beef with Estrada. I like Estrada a lot. He's fun to watch. He's got a great left hook. I just enjoy watching him, and his fights are action-packed. Estrada is not a top 10 for pound fighter. They have to stop this. First of all, because you got to put Chocolatito above him. Chocolatito is not even a top 10 pound for pound fighter. Okay, because the whole thing is, if there's a rematch between, you got Rung Visai and what's this guy's name fighting? Not Martinez. Rodriguez are fighting. Because Martinez, Chocolatito took him apart. Okay, I couldn't even tell you like with certainty that Estrada beats either fucking Chocolatito, Rung Visai, or Rodriguez. And I'm not saying that he could beat all three of them, but he could lose to all three of them too. It's a crowded division. It's a talented the talent. There's a lot of talent there. But if you're not even the pound for pound list, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, pound for pound list is for people who are like so clearly it's one thing to beat people. Some people just have a good string of fights and put together a bunch of good performances or whatever. And then there's like people who just dominate people. And Bivol was one of those people. So this is why this is why I want to start doing this, because before the fight I had Bivol around number 5 pound for pound. And I just know you do that. You're like, man, of course you fucking do. And then there's gonna be some shit about looking for white people, even though he's Korean. He's Russian. It's a weird story. He's got like Russian, Moldovan, but then he was born in he's Kyrgyzstan. Remember that I did the whole thing about the guys from Kyrgyzstan? Well, he's a guy from Kyrgyzstan, and he's not playing around. And then he's also Russian, and he's also this, and he's also that. And it's like, you know what's funny? It's like that area, like, so you had the guy Janabek fight before. Like, that area, it just tends to have, like, you look Asian, you speak Russian, and you're Muslim. Like, that, there's a lot of that in the stands, in the area of the stands. But the funny thing is, with guys like Triple G and the Bevo, it's the same thing. It's like they're not actually that. There's actually just a combination of actual, like, the one parent's Russian and one parent's Korean. In both cases, Triple G's got a Korean mom. So it's weird. It's just funny because it's like they're almost taking the parts and physically meshing them together instead of just being like, you know, the thing meshed. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just going into a tree. Thing. I was at Bevo with top 5 pound for pound. But number 5, like, for number 5. Here's the whole point about fucking pound for pound. Let me explain what pound for pound is and how we're going to do it. And this is in the Desy world. Go do it your own way. Go do it in your own Teletubby fucking way. But you know what? Don't expect me to turn around and go, oh, it's a nice list. Because your list is dog shit. Your list is dog shit. Here's what pound for pound is from me. Okay? And what it will be under the Desy Empire. Okay? This will be the law of the land. And if you disobey this law, into the gulag you go. Into the gulag you go. So here's the fucking rules. Okay? You have a fucking machine. Okay, we might actually get Dyson to do this, and it'll be like a simulation machine. So it takes a lot of the stress on actually delivering this in real life, because delivering this in real life is a bit of a challenge. Okay, because you know, it's like essentially it's like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids machine and a Honey I Blew Up the Kids. It's the same thing. So it's a blow up or a shrinker. And I always, as a kid, I just realized this when I was thinking about this. Right, Honey I Blew Up the Kids. There's got to be a better way. We need a better word, okay? We got shrunk and blew up. Because you know what it is? I think I watched that post 9/11. And, you know, just seeing that, I remember seeing that in Hollywood video, and it was just chilling. And it said, Honey, I blew up the kids. And my first mention is, the first thing is, oh, he did like a fucking jihad thing. And not jihad specifically Islam, but like, you know, the car bomb, you know what I mean? Like, the IRA thing. He did I'm not going to go ahead and pin terroristic fucking tendencies on other groups when I could just look at my own backyard. Okay, so he did it. I thought he did like an IRA style, you know, and just took his kids out. Did I really think that? No, but that was the first thing that comes to mind. Honey, I blew up the kids. That's what I think about blew up. But we'll come up with the word, because I guess, as I said, post 9/11 society, you can't be throwing words around like that. We need the marketing. You got to think about the marketing of this whole thing. Honey, what do we call Honey, I Shrunk the Boxer. Honey, I blew up the boxer. Honey, I Grew the Boxer. There's got to be a word. Blew up. What is it? Swelled. Honey, I Swole the Boxer. Honey, I Swole the Boxer. Honey, I Shrunk the Boxer machine. Okay, but it's a simulation machine, so it doesn't have to be real life. Is it, you know what I mean? Like, is it like the machine they had in Rocky? Was it Rocky 5? Rocky 6? Rocky Balboa. Remember when they did the machine and they're like, hey, we got Tarver and we got fucking Rocky Balboa. Okay, 2 different eras, but we're going to run this machine. I'm going to see who won. And they did it in Rocky Balboa, and that's why they had to fight. Okay, so it's a lot like that. You have that machine. So now Tyson Fury and Estrada, Rungvisai, all these guys can fight in the same fucking weight class. Okay? And it shrinks you down proportionally. It doesn't, I'm not saying like, oh, you're still 6'9". You know, like, it's just all about proportions. Okay, proportions. And it shrinks you and blows you up in a way that's not fucking totally out of, you know, there's like that. It's like we're talking about with the square circle guy, with the Da Vinci and the square and the circle. We're gonna do it so that your proportions are somewhat like in the realm of fucking realistic, you know, life. You know, it's not going to be looking like some characters that are like The Incredibles or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be like, oh, okay, that's a reason. Like, you know, it's not going to be like it's not going to be like Barbie dimensions where you're like, there's nobody, no human being on the planet is close. You know, if you did it like this, you wouldn't have a fucking spleen. Okay, there'd be no space for it. You know, your liver would be cut in half. We're not talking about that. We'll do it in reasonable size. Okay, with all that aside, because it took me way too long to explain that, but we're talking about morons here. Some of these lists you got are fucking stupid. You have one of those machines and it runs 100 simulations, okay? Now you have a fucking tournament. So every fighter fights every fighter 100 fucking times in this thing. And the weight thing is not an issue. So you blow up and down the scale. And so I know it's hard to do that because then it's like, you know, you're bigger. So if you're fast as fuck as featherweight, you're not going to have that speed. If you whatever. It doesn't matter. The point being, you have one of those. Who wins the tournament? And most important bit, who you putting money on. I don't care who you want to win. That's the whole the disease of the Tyson Fury church. And I love Tyson Fury like everybody else. I got nothing but respect for Tyson Fury himself. But his fans are fucking delusional. They're delusional, and it's the same, like, I'm not even gonna get into it right now, but it's like the same fucking it's like the folks we care. Tyson's gonna fucking save my life. Tyson's gonna fucking, he's gonna rise from the dead. It's like, just shut the fuck up. They just need this guy so fucking badly. And it's just, at a certain point, it's like, get your fucking life together. Okay, I'm just coming from someone who doesn't have their life together, so I understand that. But I'm not gonna sit around and go, it's just a fellation. But it's a toxic fellation too, and it's like, it's that the thing we were talking about with the Brits in particular, but the Irish do it too. Like the Irish are behind them and all that. But it's something with the maybe because the Irish want to be Brits and all that kind of stuff. But the thing with the Brits, like, it just has to be like, it's like we have to. It's like that whole thing of we have to conquer, and we have to just conquer. Just fucking shut up. And now look what happens, right? Canelo falls off the top of the pound for pound list, and all these clowns now are either saying Tyson Fury, which again, you're delusional. You're delusional. Is he top 10? Are you going to put him in the top 10? Yes, he's top 10 pound. I think you can not put him in the top 10 pound for pound. You want to go ahead and say that he's the best in the world, you're an idiot. You want to say that, but here's what they do then. Here's what they do. It's like, okay, Canelo's not the guy anymore. So now you go to Crawford. And Crawford, I was saying Crawford by a hair beforehand. I was saying Crawford, but Crawford. But then people go, Usyk. And again, it's like, I know you're not just saying Usyk because it's good. You're saying Usyk because you have a fucking agenda. And if it's not an agenda consciously, it's subconscious. Okay? I'm not going into all this shit. I'm not wasting any more time. The point being, I don't care how bad you want Tyson Fury to lift your life up. I don't care. That's not the point. What you want, who are you putting money on? You probably would put your fucking house on it too. So maybe these things aren't actually fucking distinct. Because for you, who you want and what you put your money on is the same thing, because you live in La La Land, and this is why you're surprised when shit happens, and it's like, oh, I can't believe that happened, I didn't see it coming. It's like, yeah, because you were going off what you wanted, okay, and it's not always what you want. It's very rarely in life is it ever what you want. Have you noticed this? Didn't we talk about this? Every time you get a victory, it's like not a victory, okay? These guys with the GameStop, they did the GameStop, and then it's like, is that a victory? No, I don't give a shit. But the idea was, well, somebody won and somebody lost, and the people who lost, the people who ended up buying the fucking Mets. And these are new corporate overlords at the fucking Citi Field. Oh, it wasn't them, but he helped out. He stepped in and he helped out. And they're like, hey, what the fuck you doing? And he's like, hey, I gotta make a living. And that's the guy with $3 fucking billion has the fucking balls to say, I'm just trying to make a living. It's like, you know what, this is why we have to buy the Mets. But one thing at a time, Desy. One thing at a time. But that, I'm putting that out there too. We are buying the Mets one day. That whether it's a year from now, 30 years from now, it's gonna happen. Well, you know what, we might wait. Just again, I'm all about asterisks and actually checking the fucking box off and saying we did that in life. So that's why I said, I want to get the asterisk saying I'm the first Polak president, and then I want to get the thing saying I technically own the Mets. So maybe I'll get the guy to fucking sign the team over when, like, literally when either the asteroid or the nuclear bombs are raining down. Okay, when it's end times and everyone else is they're worried about, holy shit, I'll be ready. I'll be there with the contract. I'll be like, sign the fucking team over. It's not even gonna matter because we're all gonna be dust in about 5 seconds. But for the technicality, because then hopefully maybe there is a heaven, and you go up to heaven and you say, hey, did you see what I did in my life? I bought the fucking Mets. And they'll be like, yeah, but you didn't actually enjoy it. And I was like, I don't care. That was the W for me, was buying the Mets, and I did it. I bought it for like a cheap fucking price. It doesn't matter that I got no utility out of it. I got as much utility as I can, because the human species was not surviving beyond that. Okay? But I'm way digressing. Bring it back, Desy. Bring it back. It's not who you want to win, it's who you bet money on. Okay, and that's why when I talk about Shakur Stevenson, I put money behind it. I can see this whole thing. Oh, you're a nut hugger, and like here's the whole thing. Okay, Shakur Stevenson is the #1 pound for pound fighter in boxing. Really, I'm not putting him #1 on my list, but he really, like, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. You know what I mean? It's like the only reason I'm not putting him number one is because there might be some fucking Achilles heel we don't know about. That's where the resume brings into this. And this is why I gotta bring up this talk about all you people with the fucking resume. You're like, oh, with his resume. It's like, does everybody just love corporate America that fucking much? We just have to replicate everything. Everything has to become like fucking Disneyland. Everything has to become like your fucking HR department, because you work for like the sales department of Macy's. But it's like, we're gonna turn this into a fucking HR department, and it's gonna be fucking resume and a cubicle and blah blah blah. Do we have cubicles? Should we have pound for pound top 10 cubicles too? Should we do all that? Should we have should we say, hey, the water cooler? No, because it has nothing to do with it. You start with your resume. So we're talking about resume. This is what I want to bring back to the Joshua point. Joshua's got a great resume. Okay, Joshua actually, if resumes was a thing, relative to his weight division, he might actually be a top 10 for pound for pound fighter. Joshua's not a top 10 pound for pound. He's just not right now. It's a loaded thing, and he's just not there. Okay, but if we're going off a resume, you gotta put him up there. Meanwhile, there's guys who don't have a resume because nobody wants to fight them. Okay, Dimitri Bivol is way above Joshua on 10 pound for pound. Joshua has a better resume than Dimitri Bivol. Okay, he does. Now maybe with Canelo it's more even. Resume doesn't mean shit. It only gives you more evidence. Okay, so this idea that, oh, this guy can rack up this win here, that win there. This, like, it doesn't matter. First of all, how did he look in the win? Did he blitz the guy to the point where you're like, I don't know if anybody can beat this guy. Did he do that? Was he dominant the way Bivol was? People were like, oh, Bivol only beat... Like I said this last video. He's like, he dominated them. If you were Joe Smith, Sullivan Barrera, John Pascal, say what you... Oh, they're not the number one. They won fucking like 2-3 rounds combined. Okay, so this is next level shit. And Shakur Stevenson dominates like that. And I told you this. I said before, people are underrating Oscar Valdez too. They're saying, oh... but it's just the only wins he has is... Yeah, that's a big only wins thing to say. I know Herring lost today, so you're going to say, oh, Herring was washed too. Oscar Valdez is a top-notch... Oscar Valdez was a top 10... and is a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter, contender. He's bubbling under, okay? So this idea that, oh, we're going to... Listen, Shakur Stevenson is the best time... And again, you're going to say, no, listen, I'm going to keep putting my money there. Okay? If you don't like it, don't put your money. I'm going to keep putting the money I don't have. I'm talking about monopoly money in my head. I'm the Desy dollars. Okay? We're going to put Desy dollars and we're going to bank it in the future thing or whatever. If I had money, I'd put money on it. Okay? I was scrambling to put money on Bivol, scrambling to put money on Shakur Stevenson, okay? Because I'm just going to keep putting money on it. He passes the eye, but this is exactly, and then what happened in the Valley was exactly what I said was going to happen. 10-2. I said 10-2, and lo and fucking behold, it was 10-2. At a certain point, you got to start listening to Desy, okay? When you see a guy who's got the skills, and like we said, we put Loma on the thing. We put Loma, not we, but we is like the boxing community. Put Loma and Chocolatito, number one pound for pound, right? And then they lost. We found out their Achilles heels, specifically with Loma. I'd say Loma and Spence are the two guys, I think maybe the two biggest machines in boxing, where it's like, they're in their zone, good fucking luck. If we're going off of who's in their zone and who looks great within their zone, maybe those are your two top 10 pound for pound fighters in the entire sport. Unfortunately, that's not what it is. Okay, with Loma, the whole thing is, if you don't stare and panic, because all these guys who quit against him 4 times, they were just chasing him and doing everything, they were reacting everything to do. Then you had Linares, who's just like, go ahead and just run, do the tango. I know you do the Ukrainian tango, and you're chasing the ball around your head like a fucking cat, to prepare for this, and then you hit the tennis ball, and you do all these tricks. You do like circus training, and you're like a seal fucking bouncing a beach ball on his nose. I get it's all cute and great, but I'm just not gonna fucking go. I'm gonna sit here and counter you, and he did that. So the guy starts going, and then Linares is just waiting, and goes bam. Now eventually Linares gets stopped. I'm not saying, but the idea is you take the guy out of his element, and it's a problem, and that's why Teofimo did that. And he fought for a guy who's supposed to be like young and stupid, and he fought a really fucking smart game plan for somebody who's really young and stupid. And I think he also has, like I said, has a route back into the top 10 pound for pound, all that kind of stuff. That doesn't matter. I'm talking about Lomachenko right now. If you have that kind of Achilles heel, you can't be number one pound for pound because people just can exploit the Achilles heel. It's like Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao has the best resume of any boxer of the past fucking, him and Bernard Hopkins have the best resume of the past people in the fucking past half century. Almost, pretty much. Quarter century. That's like he's okay. So by resume, then he has to be number one pound for pound until he retires. Like literally up till the day before the Ugas fight. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. That's not how pound for pound works. Gennady Golovkin's got a great fucking resume. He's not top 10 for pound. You use a resume to say, hey, if the tournament was today, who would fucking win? Here's my evidence. That's what the resume is for. Okay, so it's not a competition, and people can go, oh, but you can't put. Yes, you can, because he would beat people. What convincing evidence do you have who outside of I think Terence Crawford and maybe Usyk, but even Usyk is a stretch. Again, you know what complicates this whole thing is styles make fights. That makes things very complicated. Because sometimes, was Maidana better than Mayweather? No. But was Castillo better, talking about pound for pound list, better than Mayweather? No. Was fucking Salido better than Lomachenko? No. But that, it's styles make fights and there's context and all this kind of stuff. Regardless, if the tournament was happening. So without further ado, because I've already been rambling, it's already half an hour, okay? Maybe I bored you to tears. I don't care, okay? Here's Desy's top 10 pound for pound, unranked. We're going to start unranked, because I got to remember who is, and then we'll rank it. But it's going to be similar to the way I lay this out, okay? We're going to go like this, okay? Terence Crawford, number 1. Usyk, number 2. Shakur number 3. Okay, let me, like I said, let me do no order, let me rank them after that. Crawford, Usyk, Shakur, like I said, no order. So Spence, Bivol, Spence, Canelo, Inoue. Who the fuck else did I say? Fury. Who am I missing? Jermell Charlo, and Crawford, Usyk, Stevenson, Canelo, Errol. Lomachenko. I would still put Lomachenko top 10, but like 8 or 9 or 10. Okay, so now Lomachenko is okay. So now let's fucking rank. Let's get this list together, because we gotta have this fucking tournament in our head. And so like the bubbling unders, like I said. So Estrada's bubbling under, but he's not top 10. Taylor, was it a fluke? What's the story with him? Teofimo, can he bounce back? Haney, I think whoever wins Haney Kambosos. You got to start thinking about putting them up there. Things like that. Is there anybody else? Gervonta. So like things like that. Okay. But let's get this list nice and tidy now. Crawford's got to be number 1 because he's got that thing that nobody else has, which is like the key that solves all the Rubik's Cubes, okay? And these guys think they're crafty, like, can you solve this Rubik's Cube? And then, it takes the stickers off, and you're like, when you thought you were being smart by putting the stickers, and then you realize you're a dumbass because they're supposed to be put next to the other color and all that kind of stuff. Crawford's like, I don't give a fuck what you do. I'll find a way to get the Rubik's Cube back. I have a magic spell. I just say, Yomaha, Yomaha, Omaha. And then it fucking comes back to this. I've solved the cube. Now, will he be able to do it against somebody like a Spence? I put him in the favorite against Spence, but the argument could be made that, look, Spence is like I said, Spence is a machine. Once Spence is in his zone, then you have a fucking problem on your hands. I just think that Crawford's the kind of guy who gets him out of his zone. Like, he has the great undoing thing. So I think that in all of the fights against anyone in thing, that would be maybe stylistically, Canelo will be tough, but I think he's the same thing. He just keeps Canelo on the outside. Look, if Bivol can do it, fucking Crawford can do it. I think Crawford is. Every time he steps up in competition, he just does the same thing. I don't see somebody putting a knife in the fork in whatever utensil in that fucking machine. He's number 1. I still say Usyk number 2 again because we just have the volume of But see, but this is what I'm talking about. Is Usyk actually number 2? Does Usyk beat Shakur Stevenson? I don't think anybody beats Shakur Stevenson other than maybe Crawford. That's what maybe Bivol. So is Bivol that fucking high then too? But I don't know. But does Bivol beat Shakur? I don't think anybody beats Shakur. The only reason is because I don't want to lose money. So I'm not going to put Shakur number 2. Because that's, maybe he has something that could be exploited, that we don't know about. So maybe we do need 2 more fights before we can safely say, and at that point, listen, if he gets through the next 2, 3 guys, if he fights Lomachenko, guys like that, if he fights, I don't think Haney's even a problem. I don't think anybody's a problem for this guy. I know he's 130, but I think his power would carry. So I don't think that's a fucking issue. To me, Shakur's I'm gonna go ahead and say, and you're gonna say, oh, it's ballsy or it's ball licking or whatever. I'm gonna already say top 5 pound for pound. And like I said, same thing with Bivol. Those guys are, and Usyk is there because Usyk is proving that the reason why I gotta put Usyk up there is because Usyk actually just said, fuck the machine, fuck your shrinky blowy machine and your simulations, fuck all that shit. You just let me go now. Okay, I was the cruiser, and this is not going from 140 to 147. This is not going from 130 to 135. This is going up to fucking heavyweight and taking on fucking a big heavyweight. Anthony Joshua was a big fucking heavyweight. This is not a bridgerweight kind of guy. He's not fighting. We saw Alan Babbage today. He's not fighting Alan Babbage. He's fighting fucking Anthony Joshua, and now he's gonna try to fight Tyson Fury, possibly, maybe. So he's like a real life, the real life machine. He didn't need the simulation. So it's like a guy with those kind of boxing skills and a thing at that size too. So that's the whole thing. So if the machine did work and he had to shrink him down or whatever to his mini, that dude would be a fucking problem. So maybe it's thinking about like that too. So maybe that's a big part of it too. Because now once you think about the shrinky machine, because usually you have to think about the blowy up machine. Okay, so you're like, oh, Fury looks good. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but if you ballooned fucking Crawford, or if you ballooned Crawford up to fight, whoever, anybody above him, Canelo, blah, 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 blah. But it's got to work the other way too. So now you have to think if Usyk shrunk and Usyk was like a junior, junior welterweight or even lighter than that, like a lightweight, he'd be a fucking problem. Okay, he'd be a fucking problem, because like I said, we know because the speed and then the boxing technique and the movement carried up in actual weight. So it's not even a fucking theory. So in that sense, I do actually think, you know what? So it's fair to say Usyk's number 2, because I do think if you have those kind of skills at that big size, then you'll know. I think that he pretty much beats everybody too. I don't see Canelo's a weird. I just don't know what to do with Canelo now. Because Canelo kind of proved, like Canelo, people giving him the whole thing. They're like, oh, but his resume. They're giving him the number 1 pound for pound. And initially, I'm like, fuck off. He's not the number 1 pound for pound, But then I saw, okay, fair enough, because he was plugging the holes. Everybody has known since the Mayweather thing and Mayweather Law, and even in glimpses against fucking Plant and Saunders. But that's what I'm saying. It went down to 2 rounds. Once he fought Callum Smith, I'm like, okay, he's patching up the boxing hole. Okay, he made a boxer look like shit, and a good fucking boxer who was about 6 inches bigger and all that kind of shit. So I'm like, he's starting to deserve the title and the acclaim. He's feeling, and he also it was happening during the lockdown, the Callum Smith fight. And it's like, oh, so while everybody was eating fucking cheese doodles, just putting their hand in one of those giant Utz fucking barrels and just going to town and saying, yeah, I'll get back in the ring. This dude was putting in fucking work and getting better. So he's like, yeah, okay, so go ahead and get fat. I'm just, you're giving me a target. I'm gonna make my body punches extra fucking flubby. But like I said, if you watch my whole thing about Canelo, people are like, oh, but he's going up to 170. And then people were talking about Canelo fighting Beterbiev. Now let me tell you, this is an asterisk, because I always thought this is another question we need to answer. Could somebody with the number 1 pound for pound position lose and stay there? And I said yes, they fucking can. So like, I don't actually remember, like, because this was before I started watching. I don't remember if Roy Jones was number 1 pound for pound when he went up to fight John Ruiz. I don't know if he was. I might have been Shane. I know Shane Mosley, but I think that was after whatever. Regardless, if he goes up to fights John Ruiz, and it's like, okay, well, the skills are there, but this dude's power is just too fucking much. It's just not reasonable. And then, so like, say he gets stopped. If Canelo fought fucking Better Biev. And Better Biev is not like massive. They're actually, like he punches like crazy, But the idea being, he's a 175 puncher. Hey, so like say it's a close fucking grueling fight, because it wouldn't be the same kind of fight as a Bivol. It wouldn't be like he wins all the rounds, right? Unless the pop was just doing so much that he just didn't even want to get close. But realistically, I think it'll be a close fight, and then say he just gets worn down because he can't handle that 175 power. I think it's still fair to say, because Canelo is really, he's 168, but he's really, I mean, I know him as 154. I thought at 160 he was even kind of blown up. So, again, to keep using the word that I said, hey, maybe we should find a different word. We'll figure something out. Because swell is no bueno either. The swell is just I'm not, has other connotations. I just don't want to just like whatever. It's like that. Then you could say, look. It's still fair to put Canelo up. Like, you can't go, Canelo drops number 7. It's like, no, he just went above weight class. That's why you have weight class in the sport. But a lot of people are saying with this Bivol thing, they're like, oh, please keep it off more than you can chew. He went up too much in weight. It's like, maybe, but the guy's just better than him. If you shrink Bivol down to 160, he beats Canelo. I mean, it's 168, whatever. He's technically better than Canelo. Canelo has all these interesting kind of, he's like less conventional, more, his style is more interesting. He's kind of like one of the only guys with his style, with all the aspects, because usually the brawler, usually the thing, or you're the boxer. He's kind of got elements of both. Obviously he's not like a boxer, but he incorporated the boxing bits into the brawling thing and the power punching and shit. But regardless, I think Bivol beats him in either fucking weight class. So it's like he's got to be, and there's still people putting him Canelo above Bivol. It's like, no, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. It's not, that's not the fucking point. Bivol is a better fucking fighter than Canelo is. He just is. I'm sorry he looked like shit against fucking Craig Richards and you wanted to go, before that he was taking everybody out 12-0. 11-1. Canelo is not a dominant fighter. He always scrapped, and that's fine. I used to get on him because he would win 40% of the fight. The judges gave him the extra 10, 15% he needed. So he's like, I got the 4 or 5 rounds. I'm good. That's not how it works. Okay, so, but he got the gifts and it's fine. But then he got to the point where he started beating guys 9-3, 10-2, and you're like, okay, so now it's happening. But then he runs into fucking Bivol. And like I said, it doesn't matter what weight class you're in. Obviously, you shrink down to power and maybe he wasn't holding him. I'm not getting into that whole thing. Bivol's better. Bivol's better than Canelo. He's got to go above him on the list. Okay? Again, they say Canelo fighting Spence. Who wins? That's a tough call. I think if you blow up Spence, it's a tough call. But then, see, the problem with that is the styles makes fights. Errol Spence pisses me off because Errol Spence, if he didn't do this that much last fight, so I like to see this. He doesn't fall into other people's traps. He's the most unstoppable dude in the sport, possibly. Do you know what I mean? So that's what pisses me off about Errol. Like the way he fought Sean Porter pissed me off so much. Because I was a Kell Brook fan. I'm watching how Kell Brook, matador this guy. Sean Porter, God bless him, great fucking guy, personality-wise. The most annoying fucking boxing style, the most insufferable. I respect the work ethic, but holy fuck, I'm not watching football. You know what I mean? It was just like every fucking fight. It was just dirty and scrappy, and it's like, it was just wrestling. I'm like, fucking stop it. Can somebody just stop this guy? But again, not because I hate him. He's got a great personality, and he's great for he's got a whole career ahead of him as a commentator, and God bless him and all that kind of stuff. And he works hard, and he deserved to be Danny Garcia and all this kind of stuff. But in terms of watching the fight, stylistically, it was like, holy fucking shit. Okay, so that's why I was glad. I was glad that Terrence eventually, he had his trouble with it, but it's not the trouble. He was measuring him, and then he took too much time. And then he saw it. He's like, oh, I'm down. Okay, let me go stop. And he did it within a minute. So at any time, he can turn it on and just go boom, take the guy out. Which is why he's the number 1 pound fighter. But when Errol Spence was fighting Sean Porter, it's like, okay, now you're just giving into his style. You're giving into his style. He started doing this thing. I don't know if I could describe it, but he was trying to fight inside, and he was kind of just going like, he was smothering his fucking punches. He was kind of like throwing like I'm like, what are you doing? Like you saw him against Ugas, bring back what he was doing before. Is that he would get in and then he would push off, give himself enough thing, and unfucking load. That guy's got hooks for days, and so that's what he was doing. He was pushing off and giving himself enough room to fucking work, but he wasn't doing that for whatever reason against Porter and Garcia. Garcia was after the fucking accident, so it's like maybe he just wasn't 100%. And so the guy, the trainer said the same fucking thing. But against Porter, like, oh, it's an evenly set. I'm like, but it shouldn't have been evenly fucking matched. Again, Spence is a guy who was dominating people. Do you know what I mean? Like he's mowing through people. Guys like fucking Lamont Peterson. And again, you can say, oh, Lamont Peterson's not top. It doesn't matter. You don't mow through guys like that. You don't mow through guys like time after time. Say what you want about like Chris Algieri, but he was mowing through these guys. It wasn't fucking close. It's Mikey Garcia. Oh, Mikey Garcia was too small. It doesn't matter. He had fucking talent. And he did a pitch perfect fucking performance. So for him to kind of give his style up, and I get it, Sean makes it difficult. I get it, but you go back and watch the Brook fight, and that's the manual for how to fight fucking Sean Porter. I'm so lost on this tirade. I don't even know how the fuck I'm gonna pull it back. This is what I was talking about, Errol Canelo. I'm not gonna go ahead and do every matchup because this is gonna drive myself nuts. Inoue is a bit of a weird one too. Like, where do we put Inoue? Because again, with the Donaire thing, it's like Donaire just getting better because Donaire is doing I was about to say Father Time. He's doing the Benjamin Button. Okay, Benjamin he's gonna be doing the Bernard Hopkins thing. He's gonna be 45. He's gonna be knocking people out. So is it that he's getting better? Is it that Inoue's being exposed? It wasn't even exposed, but whatever. Inoue's weird. Inouue, I think they did. That was a bit overhyped. Again, whatever. If you want to go bet the money, you go bet the money on. I'm gonna put Canelo above Inoue. I'm gonna put Spence above Canelo. I'm gonna put Spence above Canelo, but you gotta put Bivol above. Maybe Spence beats Bivol if you blow them up. Maybe but Bivol beats. This is tough. I will say. For somebody who's shitting on people's pound for pound, it's not an easy contest, but it's the way people are judging, the way people are fucking talking, and then all these rules are there, like, oh, this person can't be, like, it's like you have to move them up in ones and twos. No, you fucking don't. Do you remember, like, this is why, actually, Max Kellerman, give him props for this. He's actually usually, with this kind of stuff, he's usually good, because he was the guy who put both, or at least he was the first guy I heard he's like, hey, Lomachenko and Chocolatito, like, in both of them, like, he was like, when everyone started saying one was the number one pound for pound and the other guy was saying the other was like he was the guy saying both of those things. And he's like, honestly, if you look at, and that's why he's saying Crawford, because he knows what he's saying. He's like, you look and you say, okay, who wins that fucking tournament? And he didn't say specifically, but that's his whole mindset. That's the whole way he goes about his business doing that. So with that being said, let's stop beating around around the bush with the Shakur thing, okay? And and also stop factoring if somebody doesn't want to fight somebody. I'm not saying it gives you points, but there's a reason. People like Crawford, and they're still saying it because people don't change their fucking opinion. How many people does he actually have to be? And then the truth is with Crawford, I was thinking about this the other day. Even when he was a lightweight, he was beating people, and then like even guys like that's the thing too. Even guys like Ricky Burns. You look at Ricky Burns now and be like, oh, you're really gonna put Ricky Burns on this? Yeah, because at the time he had like one loss or no, he was at the top of the division, and Crawford made it easy work. And maybe that's part of why his career wasn't the same after that. You have to think about that shit too. Okay, because now if you say, oh, you beat Kovalev, oh, Kovalev was what, like, that's like saying, oh, Andre Ward beat Kovalev, oh, but Kovalev was what? No. Andre Ward washed Kovalev. Andre Ward was the thing that happened that made Kovalev's career was going one way, and then it started going another. And the reason why was Andre Ward. Okay, so these are the things you have to fucking think about too. So Terence Crawford is one of those types of things too. So Terence Crawford number one, Usyk. And 327 is tough. 327 is tough. But we're going to go Shakur. Okay, so the next ones are Bivol, Spence, and Canelo. And in what order are you going to do? And in a way, is 7. Bivol, Spence, Canelo. Well, Bivol's got to be above Canelo. Because I think not only does he beat him, like I said, you shrink him down, he still beats him. So Canelo's got to be, so Bivol's got to be either 4 or 5. So Spence is the biggest wild card on this pound for pound list. He just is. It's weird because it's I don't know. It's just tough to put Spence somewhere. You could put Spence anywhere from 4 to 7. Really, you could put Inoue above Spence. I think Spence. Crawford, Usyk, Stevenson, and even and again and that's okay. So even then, like I said, that's me hedging my bets. But realistically, I think within 6 months, or within the next fight, I think we're gonna be saying Crawford, Stevenson, and maybe but like I think Crawford might actually be the only person in the sport with the blowy up machine, might actually beat Stevenson. Because I don't think even Lomachenko, talk about high skill, whatever. I don't think Lomachenko beats him. Crawford, Usyk again to be safe, but again, but also because if you shrink him down, he's gonna be a fucking animal, just a fucking animal. Crawford, Usyk, Shakur Stevenson. We'll go Bivol, Spence, Canelo, Inoue, Fury, Lomachenko, Charlo. Because I think the thing with Jermell Charlo, I think same thing we were talking about with literally 5 seconds ago. I think people don't understand how good Brian Castano is. So and not only did he knock him out, like he stopped, like who the fuck was it? Was it Coppinger had Castano winning the fight? You're nuts. It was dominant. I think I had it 6-3. I think it was probably really 7-2. 6-3, 7-2. I gave Castano one of the even rounds. I'm like, okay, take this. And you should never do that. That's kind of like a breach of my whole rules. Because the whole problem with that shit is, and I say this all the time, if somebody wins the first 4 fucking rounds, okay, and then they do relatively better, the other person who lost the first 4 does relatively better in the 5th. Okay, you're like, oh, maybe I'll give it. It's like, you can't do that. Because in this fucking sport, you can win the last 6 rounds of the fight. So now he wins the fucking fight, even though it's 6 apiece, because you said, hey, I'm gonna give this guy a round that he didn't really win, but it was relatively fucking better. Maybe there's some mind games that are being exploited. If Desy was a boxer, I'd fucking tap into that shit. It's like how our dude, fucking Sugar Ray Leonard, he was one of the first guys who said, hey, I'm gonna win the last 30 fucking seconds of this round, and I'm gonna do the Jedi mind tricks on you, so you're gonna remember me fondly. So it's a lot of that kind of stuff. What did I say? Okay, it's relative rounds. Yeah. But Jermell Charlo was winning. And it's, like I said, it's Castano, who's a top-notch fighter. He's another weird one, too, because it's like, he's not a machine enough, Errol's a machine. Errol's a weird one because he's a machine, but it's like the machine gets unplugged. He's got the Lomachenko problem. There's the same problem there. Whereas, like, those are the problems. I don't really see them, like, Usyk, Crawford, and Shakur don't have that, or even Bivol. That's why those guys are your top fucking 4 for that reason. Because I don't see a great way to unplug that fucking machine. The whole thing is they combine whatever they do, the machine with the, they don't have like a fucking glaring weakness. So that's your top 4, right? We already established that, Desy. We fucking did. Crawford, Usyk, Shakur, Bivol, or maybe Bivol, Shakur too. Is possible. But let's do Shakur, Bivol. I said that's just for now, again, to hedge my bets. Shakur, Bivol, Errol, Canelo, Inoue, Fury, Lomachenko, Charlo. Come shit on my fucking list. I'm waiting. And then show me your dog shit list. I've seen people put again, it's not about who I like. I've seen people putting Kambosos top 10. You're fucking nuts. I get that if somebody beats the top 10 pound for pound guy, so the top number 1 pound for pound guy, and then you beat that guy, I guess you want to do, but that's another thing. That doesn't automatically qualify. Even being unified, at this point, being undisputed, it's like, you'd have to, but what was your path to undisputed? People say that about fucking Terence Crawford. They say that all the time about Terence Crawford. But now it's like, Charlo wins and then, somebody else, Canelo wins, and now that's not a fucking problem anymore. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, but he beat, who did he hit an easy path? You know what I mean? So, So I don't know. You have my top 10 pound fan. Give me your dog shit. Okay, so let me. If I wanted to clip, I'm not even gonna repeat it. No, I was gonna repeat it to be clipped. You have someone to work. I'm exhausted. I'm fucking sweating my balls off because, like I said, it's humid season again. I need to go somewhere cold. I might actually go to fucking New Zealand. If I had any fucking money, I'd just go there. Because I heard they got winter going on now. You know. And again, they keep their words kind of, for somebody who spills his words out as the most obnoxious motherfucker on the planet. Going, that's what I do to criticize the Australians. But that's, you know, but they don't do the Australia thing of, like I said, because they don't have fucking land to conquer. They got the island. They know the boundaries. They just go, fuss and chops, they will go to fucking New Zealand. They'll go to Lake Placid. But Lake Placid is going to be summertime, so fuck that shit. We got to go somewhere cold. I'm a cold weather kind of guy. This is not working for me. So before I have a fucking heat stroke, that's that. I probably already forgot. Oh, let me do that before we go. I'm gonna call the next series of fucking fights. I'm gonna see who we got. I'm gonna pull up this fucking schedule. Okay. What are the odds for Victor Ortiz? He fought today. That's crazy. He's still fighting. What are the odds for Benavidez Lemieux? If it's under 4, if it's probably under 4, I'm taking those fucking odds. Just cause David Lemieux's got a puncher's chance. Maybe that's part of me saying again, willing somebody, because I don't ever like to fucking disrespect boxers or whatever, you know, and shit. But I think David Benavidez is overhyped. I think Canelo walks through him. But I might be wrong, and I'll eat my fucking words if I am. While we're here, can you see this? What are the odds for tomorrow? I didn't say anything about West Ham. What are the West Ham? I think it's gonna be a fucking draw. I want West Ham to steal that Europa spot, but is somebody telling me it's gonna be a draw? All right, let's go. Let's see what the odds are here. 11-1, fucking sign me up. And that's because it's 11-1. Look, I think Benavidez is the favorite. And I'm going to go ahead and put fucking $5 Desy dollars. Well, you know what we'll do? You know how everybody's pricing this shit in their own currency now? And you know, because we're building an empire, that's the whole fucking thing. Everyone's pricing shit in their own currency. You know, the whole thing of like, oh, you're going to make, Russia's making people pay the rubles for it. We're going to price these in Desy dollars. We got to give ourselves like an allowance. Of like $100 Desy dollars a month to put on these, okay? And we'll bet them at the odds because I don't have any actual fucking money. Like, see, this is ridiculous that this guy that Raleigh's even that they should switch those around. But I'll take the 11-1 odds and we'll put $5 Desy dollars. Okay, remember that we're putting $5 Desy dollars on a Lemieux win. The truth is, Benavidez has a bit of a chin, so he has. But Lemieux's coming up in weight. But Lemieux can pop. I don't think he's gonna win. I think we might just be burning 5. But if 11-1, at 11-1, so we're gonna do that. All right, who else? I'm gonna go from this schedule then. Gervonta's gonna roll through fucking Raleigh. Do you want to pick a round? 3. Round 3. Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton's gonna win that. Kambosos Haney. I think Kambosos will offer up a good fight. It's gotta be Haney. You gotta like again. I don't want Haney because Haney is like Instagram. But there's actually some. You know, he's just young. He's just a young guy. I think he's gonna get better with age in terms of like being a likable. You know, because now he's got bits of likableness, but it's just sprinkled in. Like they keep showing. Maybe it's just the DAZN people. They keep showing him in these skits with him and fucking on his phone saying Instagram and my followers. It's like, oh fucking just shut up, shut the fuck up. And he's got holes in his game. I think Tank eats him alive. But Kambosos, you know, Kambosos put fucking TV on his ass. He's not lacking in pop. But I don't know. It'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight. But it'll be a 7-5, 8-4, 7-5, 8-4 for Haney on the cards. What do we get for that? Okay, we'll spend the rest of these Desy dollars. Stephen Fulton, you know, do I want to do? Okay, we're gonna do. There's no round for round thing with thing. Oh, I'm gonna do this better next time. This is not organized. Nonito, are we taking Nonito at 4.5? Are we taking Nonito at 4.5? Nonito's having a fucking second wind. And did he learn something in that? You know, he got better but then he also got hurt later in that fight. Inoue, how is Inoue? But Inoue's Inoue. Are we taking Inoue? You got to pick Inoue. I think Inoue is gonna win. Maybe it'll probably be a similar. It actually probably be a similar, maybe even closer fight than the first time. But I think Inoue pulls away. I don't think he knocks him out. I don't think Donaire wins though either. But I think he's gonna make it tough. I think make it close. So we're gonna go Inoue. We're gonna fuck the Desy Dollar concept unless you see like a bargain thing. You know what I mean? Joe Parker, Joe Joyce. That's a great fucking fight. I don't know who wins that. You gotta lean Joyce. Parker fights the level of his, but Parker fought well against Chisora, so I don't know. It's a great fucking fight. Just going to my head, I'm going Joyce. But Joyce is slow and old. I think, you know, and Brian Jennings had a good fighting. I don't know. That's one of my favorite fights coming up. Charlo Seletsky, Przepraszam Maciej, Albo, you know, we gotta go with fucking, we gotta go against my fellow Polak here. That's why I was happy to see Babbage fighting today, and then I found out he was beating this Polish guy. But the Polish guy almost had him. But you nothing wrong. You gotta love Alan Babbage. Who else we got here? We got Tevin Farmer fight. That already happened, I'm assuming. I gotta see who won that. Let's go to Otto Wallin. He's gonna win. Javante Arslan. He's gonna beat Spike. Stephen Fulton. Ding 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 ding. Oh, this is gonna be Daniel Dubois is gonna mop the floor with Trevor Bryan because Daniel Dubois is a big time. This fucking fight, dude. Holy shit. I might try to find a way to break into that shit. Because it's in the Garden, right? You know, my gut is telling me Beterbiev, but my gut is also telling me, dude, you know what? You can't, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice with Joe Smith. Fool me 3 times, you know what I mean? And Vlasov was tough, but the Vlasov was tough because he was a herky-jerky boxing. This guy is this is going to be a bloodfest. And I don't think Joe Smith has give. And, you know, that's going to be... Arthur Beterbiev's bones are made of fucking, like, titanium and shit. But he's not immortal, though, either. Do we take Joe? What are the odds on that? They don't give me any odds on this. That'd be great to see what the odds... If the odds are below 3, we might put some Desy dollars on that. No, actually, you know what? No, if they're below 3, if they're below 2, we're going to put some Desy dollars on that. We're definitely going to, you know... Well, I think we'll see. We'll see. What else we got? Usyk Joshua. Depends on how Joshua comes back in. Is he going to use his size? That's his way to win. Mark Magsayo, I don't know. The Magsayo, the Russell win was a bit of an asterisk, so I don't know. Oh, Rung Vasai, that's going to be a good fight. The way Jesse Rodriguez looked in this is Bam Bam guy, right? Bam Bam? If it's Bam Bam guy, he looked fucking killer in his last fight. So, and I don't know how old he was. So with all right, so that's the end. So this is actually winding down. I thought there was more shit coming up. So it's sloppy enough, but here, okay. So in these big ones, okay, Gervonta's rolling through Romero. We're gonna take Haney. If Kambosos beats him, I can't. You know. These guys are going to have the crowd behind them. They might give him like a Jeff Horn type decision thing too. Which means it's good. It's brave of Devin to do what he's doing. But we'll see. That'll be a good fight. And then we got to lean in a way against Donaire. But Nonito is one of my favorite fighters of all time. Not counting him out at all. I think he's going to be closer than the first one, which is already close. And that's all I got for you. Because I'm really fucking done now. I'm really sweating. I need to go have some fucking, iced tea. Alright, so fuck off. Do widzenia.